Okay, so yeah, I had a phone call come in that interrupted my video, but I'll make take two here. They actually killed my father back in, I believe my dad died. My dad died in '99. Um, he drank a lot, but he was I guess so to speak, an outlaw. He didn't really, you know, he went to jail a few times. He sat in prison, but he wouldn't work. He wouldn't help them. He wouldn't set people up. He wouldn't snitch on people. So apparently there's some unwritten rule, that if you won't work for the police, if you won't help them set people up, if you won't become an informant, then to them you are trash. And they'll have their guys take out the trash. That's it. Don't matter. They'll kill you. They'll lie on you. They'll set you up. They will do anything they can. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. Either you're going to work or they're going to kill you. It's your choice. You know what I mean? And it ain't fair and it ain't right, because you should have a option in this country. Well, anyway, they staged my marriage. I've caught my wife, on, her phone. At first, it took me about 4 years to figure out there was actually anything going on. I mean, I noticed that everywhere I went, people would follow me. White people would come up acting racist, saying racist stuff, trying to get me to talk racist or act racist, so it would appear as if, I was a racist and my brother was a racist and what he done was racist, which it isn't true. None of us was a racist. The girl who actually started the altercation has biracial kids. I mean, they wanted to paint this picture of us as monsters, and it just isn't true. Well, long story short, once they realized that, I was kind of on to what was going on or whatever, because I started calling people out. When people started trying to have bogus conversations with me and stuff, I was like, hey, get the fuck away from me. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I've said all I had to say. Don't come around me. I don't play those games. I'm not going to play games with you. Okay? It got old. I mean, they have destroyed my kids' life. Everywhere I go to work, they go marching up there. They get my employers in on it. They've ripped me off out of money. You name it, they done it. If you can imagine it, it has been done. Okay? My wife, I go through her phone, periodically. I'm not real good with technology and stuff. I'm just, I guess, an old redneck, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm myself. I drive trucks for a living. I've always, done what I could to get by. So I get to going through her phone. This was, I don't know, must have been a couple years back. I'm playing with her phone in the middle of the night, trying to see what I could figure out, because like I said, I'd already caught on that there was something going on. All of a sudden, alarms, like the fire alarms in my home and stuff, start going off. The TV's cutting on by itself. Lights and stuff are flickering outside. I'm like, what? I don't even know what I'm doing on her phone. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just mashing stuff. I'm trying to figure out anything I can. Okay. I wake her up out of the bed. I'm like, hey, I was like, now's the good time to start talking. You need to tell me what the hell is going on. Finally, I break her down. She starts crying. They feel like you need to be punished for that situation with your brother. I'm like, why do I need to be punished? I didn't do anything wrong. I hadn't bothered anyone. You know what I mean? I had nothing to do with it. I mean, the DA stood in the courtroom when they was prosecuting my brother, and on record said we never suspected Mr. Taylor had anything to do with it. Mr. Taylor is completely innocent of this, Your Honor. We just want him to testify against his brother, which I really didn't want to do, and I done everything I could not to have to testify against my brother. That's my brother. I love my brother. You know what I mean? Who would want to get on stand and testify against their own brother? You know what I mean? And, the fact that he was in the military and stuff, they didn't want to hear nothing about that. They didn't care about that. It means nothing to them, because he shot a black cop. It wasn't racist. It had nothing to do with racism. Nothing. You know what I mean? He just snapped. I don't know. Post-traumatic stress syndrome? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I say post-traumatic stress syndrome. I don't know what went on in his head. Anyway, where was I at? So basically, after they realized that I absolutely had nothing to do with it, they wasn't going to pin anything on me, they started trying to frame me. Okay? So this was a couple years back, around the same time I was just talking about with the phone and stuff. I get off from work, and I start finding like Q-tips laying around my house, little rolled up pieces of toilet paper. I mean, just all over my house. And I'm like, why? I was like, you don't clean up, you know. I couldn't figure out exactly what they was doing. It took me a minute to realize that that's what drug addicts do. They have little Q-tips laying all over the place. They was actually trying to stage my home to make it look like I was on drugs. So I nipped that shit in the bud just as quick as I could. Boom. I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. I was like, dude, you name it, they've done it. Okay. All right, let's fast forward. And I did call the cops out there, and I did make a report. I actually found little camera pins in my home. I'm like, what kind of pen is this? I pulled a pen out of my wife's pen jar. I was going to jot something down real quick. And I'm like, why the fuck don't this pen write? I was like, hell, it ain't even got an ink cartridge in it. I took the damn pen apart. It's got a camera inside. I was like, what the fuck is this? So, me being me, I call the cops. What are they going to do? They're the ones that's doing it. It's their informants. What do you do when you can't call the police? What do you do? I mean, anyway, I called the police out there. They come out there. I tell them what's going on. I tell them what I found. I tell them what happened with her phone. She even tells them that she admitted to me what was going on. Okay? They're doing everything they can to shut us up. They're playing stupid. Oh, we don't know what to, you know, they play dumb as fuck. Because they don't at all want somebody like me to discover all their little quote unquote secrets, the stuff they do to people. Too late now. I made a police report. Nothing ever came out of it. They're not going to investigate themselves. They're not going to investigate their guys. Duh. I drop it for my kids' sake. You know what I mean? A few more years go by. Fast forward to right now. Okay, right now it was about 2 weeks ago. We've been staying at a extended stay while I try and get back on. I drive a truck every day. We've been staying at an extended stay while I'm trying to get us back on our feet and get us another place, because we had to move out of our home because her mother, we took our kids over there and stuff. They brought bed bugs back to our house. They're infested with bed bugs. I didn't know that at the time. I know now, and I know how we got bed bugs. Well, my house is ate up with bed bugs. Everything I own, have to throw away. You can't get rid of bed bugs. I don't care what nobody says. You can't get rid of them. I had to throw away all our furniture, over $1,000 worth of stuff. I had to throw away, give away. We had to go to an extended stay with nothing but our clothes. So I'm having to start over completely. That's why we're there. Okay. Well, I start noticing they're still playing games with me. You know, she goes to sleep one night. I get her phone again. I said, I'm about to get to the bottom of this. I've been living 6 years of my life, I mean, in utter hell. I mean, they have caused me all types of hell. My side right now hurts so bad, it ain't even funny, because of the chemicals and stuff that they put in my food and everything. I mean, they have tried to murder me because I won't work for them. I refuse to do it. I refuse to take any part in G at all. The game, whatever you want to call it, I refuse to do any of that. I'm not that kind of person. I don't set people up. I don't do people dirty. You know, if somebody done something wrong, lock their ass up, let them do their time, let them go. I refuse to do anybody dirty. That just ain't me, Bo. Anyway, so I start going through her phone. I start clicking on apps and stuff. I find an app on her phone where, and then I start going through all the stuff that's in this app. It's a Google Home app where you can control your lights, your thermostat, your I mean, this girl can control everything: the thermostat, the lights, the television, I mean, anything she wants to do. Okay, they have drippers in my sink, and when I go and turn on my sink or whatever, she's sitting there on her phone releasing the chemicals that I discovered that was ran to my sink, to my shower and my sink. Like, it's all right here on her phone. So I start clicking on everything. This girl has full access to every camera, from Walmart parking lot to the Parkers to Inmart to the Pilot where I fuel it every morning. They have cameras in my truck, my 18-wheeler. This girl can set on her phone, her and anybody that's in G, anybody that works for the police, they can set on their phone and see what I do every day, all day long, on a day-to-day basis. Okay, they have my phone set up on a platform, a custom platform, where they have full control of it. Back in the day, I'm old school. Back in the day, they called it roping somebody off. I don't know what they call it now. But, you know, if you're trying to set somebody up, or if you're trying to, you know, harass them, whatever you're trying to do, you rope them off. Okay, you control everybody they have anything to do with. You control anybody they communicate with, whatever. You're in full control of their whole life. So I'm just going to call it roping me off, so to speak. They got my phone set up on a custom platform where they are in full control of everything I do. When I fire off a phone call, it is routed to her phone. And she decides, you know, who pretends to be who, or whether to answer the call or reject the call. I mean, everything. Full control of everything that I do. You know, I don't even know. Man, there's so much. Man, I could talk for days about the things that I know and the things that I've discovered. Okay, now, 90% of the population in the United States is in on it. They do it. You know what I mean? They're part of G. You know what I mean? Rappers or whatever call it the game, or, you know, like I said, I'm old school. I don't want no part of it. But I'm tired of my life being staged. They've destroyed my children's life. Okay, these jokers will get pregnant. Okay, they will, by whoever, it don't even matter. They will go have the baby at the hospital, swap the baby out. Okay, you'll be raising somebody else's baby. They're steadily telling you that's your kid. Okay, you can't go have a DNA test. All the local hospitals, all, you know, all the government, everybody's in on it. Everybody does it. You know what I mean? So, what do? You know what I mean? I'm not working for the law. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that they stop murdering people who won't work for them in this country. It is a crying shame. Because we won't work for the police, we ain't trash. Because we won't worship G, we won't participate in the game, we won't participate in the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. You know, they say that we're trash. No, it's because we got common sense, and I'm a Bible-believing man. I know what that book says, and I know the things that they are doing is all part of this one world government, this Antichrist. It all, you know, twines in together into one big ball of, you know, the one world government, the Antichrist, and all that stuff. I don't want any part of that. You know, when the Lord comes back, I want to be able to be forgiven. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the unforgiven. You know, I'm no saint, but I do want to go to heaven when the time comes. And I hope that I've done enough good in my life, you know, to do that. But let's jump off of that and back to this nonsense. Hold on one second. I'll finish up this video here in a second.